Welcome to another Big Jimny video, and this time one with a bit of a difference and showing a new path for some of my videos over the coming months. For the first time we bought a project, or more correctly James has bought a project. As you can see from these photographs I'm just putting up now, James has had this long time desire for a Red SJ, the earlier version of the Jimny as it's more widely known in the UK. We had one when he was about 6 or 7 for a few years, and I hadn't really realised just how much he loved it, and ever since he's hankered after another one. So he went out the other week and bought one. Bought it over the internet as an internet sale, remotely, but the seller provided loads of videos, phone calls and advice and all of that, so confident that he bought what he wanted, and now he is the proud owner of a Red SJ. So today I'm going to do a walk round video of this SJ so that you can see what it's like. For those of you who got things like the Gen 4 and are thinking, you know, why is this video on this channel? Well, actually you're going to see a bit of the heritage of the Gen 4. So as I look round, you'll be able to see things on this SJ that you recognise in the DNA of your Gen 4. The aim of this James's project is he wants one to be absolutely stock, to be absolutely factory, and therefore he was been looking for one that was completely untouched. Now, no one has done any mods, there's no light bar holes or button cut holes in the dashboard. He was looking for one that was completely and original to the factory, and as I say, we eventually found one the other week, and here it is. So let's now go and take a walk around. Oh, one more thing. Those of you who know James knows that he's extremely proud of his cars, and every vehicle he's ever had, including the boat and that, has been polished to within an inch of its life. He therefore gave me special permission to film this video with this SJ exactly as it is today. In other words, it's not been cleaned, it's as it sits on our drive. And last night we had a Sahara dust storm in the rain, and it is therefore covered in dust. But I had to pop out now and do this video because this weekend it is going to start down the chain of being brought back to life, to being upgraded and everything replaced and sorted out, and that includes valeting. So this weekend he will get out his polisher and start all of the activities that he does to make it look like the gleaming car that he really wants. So with that, let's get on and take a look around this one. So as you can see, it is a completely standard SJ413. It is a 1986 model, which makes it a D registration in the UK. The SJ413 at this stage was a fairly basic vehicle. Later on they introduced the Samurai version, which has got wider axles and therefore sits slightly differently when you look at it. But the early ones are not Samurai, and if you are looking to buy one, be aware that people quite often advertise them as Samurais. They think that Samurai is just a generic name. It isn't. It is only for the Samurai version. So as you got this one, it had new tyres on it, or newish tyres, which was a good selling point, and it has a new or newish soft top from Monsoon. What I'll do first is just have a walk around the outside, and then we'll do some close-ups of the bits and pieces that need attention, because whilst it is standard and it is in comparatively good condition, there are some areas that will need addressing on it, and again James has given me permission to show you the warts and all of them, just so that you're aware, if you're thinking of buying them, what to look out for. So with it being a 1986 car, so that's like over 30 years old, rust is beginning to show its ugly head. You'll be very lucky to find one of these that is rust free. Now the main thing people do tend to worry about is the chassis, but in my experience we've never had too many problems seen with chassis, unlike Land Rovers. I mean, Land Rovers is always a chassis replacement, but with SJs it's the bodywork. And of course, as it's a chassis vehicle, it's the bodywork around the body mounts that is crucial. But this one is good around the body mounts, so it's a matter of tackling the rust around the rest of the bodywork. So you can see here that the bumpers have seen better days, and we've got some new bumpers on the way, and there are various knocks and little dents in the vehicle that will need taking out. One of the key areas to watch out for on these is under the wheel arches here, and as you can see, this one has got a hole in it, but again there isn't a body mount just here, it's down underneath, so this can be all repaired with some decent welding. But in general, the bodywork is nice and clean and tidy until you get round to the back. Now this is where this particular one's going to need some attention, because the rear quarters have gone and will therefore need you can either get a half panel that fits in here and down here, you can buy half panels, or you can buy the whole rear wing to replace these. My feeling is that this one is a case of it being the whole rear wing, because just inside here on the boot floor at the back is the rear body mount, and it needs doing properly. And as you can see, the other side is exactly the same. Bumpers, the rear bumper's rusty, poking holes in it there. We've got a new rear bumper as well, and this quarter, probably just the quarter on this side, will need replacing. Although again, once these rear wheel arch trims here are removed, it may well reveal rust round in there. That's the usual areas. And I'm also a bit suspicious on these by things like the plastic covers on the sills. Plastic covers are wonderful things for keeping the rust inside, but this side is generally very good, and we're hoping will be a fairly straightforward job. So let's have a look inside. So as you said, for us, the fact that it is absolutely standard, nice and untouched, so to speak, inside is a real bonus. So things like, you know, there's no cuts in here where switches have been put in, there's no big holes in the dashboard up here where extra instruments and that have been put in. This one is completely standard. For those of you who are Gen 4 owners, this is your heritage. Look at these instruments. You'll recognise where the design for the instruments on the Gen 4 came from. And of course over here is your grab handle that you've got on the Gen 4. Inside, again, nice and clean. The seats do have wear and tear on them. We've had it assessed by the local upholsterer, and he's going to take it in a few weeks' time to do the fixes on the upholstery. Round the back. So here we are round the back. There are cards on the side walls of the back, and the vinyl is peeling off of those. Again, the upholsterer is going to have a quick look at those for us. That's the same both sides. And that's got a bench seat. This is the bench seat version. The early ones had bench seats in, and the bench seat folds forward, but it has no seat belts because it's 1986, and seat belts were not required during those days. And the strange thing is, for us, it actually smells like an SJ. When we had them in the past, they had a very distinctive smell, which this one has got. There is I presume it's a combination of the damp from having a soft top and the construction materials, but it's very, very distinctive. And as you can see, very standard in here. Another place to watch for rust on these is down under here. You can't see it on this one, but it's where this inner wing meets the wheel arch inside here. That's a real prone for rust point. So if you're looking for these, make sure you get to look under here. And as I said, watch out for rust around the rear body mounts. Okay, so you've got to look for rust under here, and as you can see, this one is starting to lift the panels here. Okay, and that is getting close to that body mount, so that is a future point of MOT failure that we're going to get cured when we send it away for some welding work to be done on it. So another rust point on these is in the front footwells. You've just seen me show you the hole from the outside. You need to be looking in the inside in these front footwells for rust coming through here. So here we're starting again to see that some rust is coming through here, and this really needs plating and sorting on this one. Under the bonnet we have the 1300 cc's of G13A engines in these. So you can see it is a carburettor version of the engine that you're familiar with in the later models. Again, this car's done 44,000 miles. Everything under here looks original. There are no strange mods. The only thing that is looks new, it's got a new alternator on it and a new battery. The battery is intriguingly fitted in with some wooden blocks, so we need to put the proper clamps back in. That's probably because this battery is slightly bigger than the original battery in these. These were always had tiny batteries, basically almost motorcycle batteries, and I suspect that it's been replaced and the clamp has had to be discarded because it wouldn't fit on the larger battery, and it's been wedged in with bits of wood. In fact, it looks like, with the alternator being new down here and a new battery, that it's had some sort of electrical problem in the past. There's a sort of black sootiness around this side, and there's a lot of battery acid marks down the side, as if it's either boiled or burnt out its battery. Maybe the alternator failed and overcharged the battery, and the battery overheated or something like that in the past. But it's all well and good. Starts lovely, turns over beautifully and runs. So should be not anticipating any issues there. So I hope you enjoyed that introduction. If you've got any questions, just drop us a line and we'll answer them. As I said, you should be seeing a sort of build progress on this one, starting this weekend with a complete valet, and then we've got, as I said, the seats booked in. We've got new bumpers and parts arriving. They're coming from France, from a company that we have located over there that does a lot of SJ parts, and that I've also negotiated a discount with for Big Jimny members through my account there. So if anyone is looking for SJ parts and that, then we will provide a link down at the bottom of this video for you to look at them, and then we can arrange to buy them from the company. If you like this video, then please click on like and subscribe, and I'll catch you further down the road, either with updates to this one or back to our Gen 3s and Gen 4s that we're also running at the same time. Cheers!